A very good evening to everyone. In this very class, I will discuss some strategy you should follow in order to crack CPT in English in addition to cracking any kind of PG entrance exam like CUET. Okay. And already the CPT result has been published in English and many of my students have secured 60 out of 80, 55, 56, 48, 47. Okay, although some students have not done well and they are very much dejected because of the result. But keep in mind that MCQ can't judge one's talent. Sometimes because of some health issue, surrounding, situation, time, although we are very much talented, we can't give our best. It happens. But don't be sad. If you are not getting the college or university according to your wish, don't be sad. Read from any college or university. Every college university is equally good. Everything depends on you. If you are a avid reader, if you are a dedicated soul regarding English literature, if you are self-motivated, if you are believing in self-study, from anywhere you can flourish yourself. Okay. You have to read. This is the main thing. Don't be sad. And every college and university is equally good. Everything depends on you. Now, however, I have seen the CPT question, and one thing I have observed, the questions are coming from the concept level. Maximum students are doing that what? They are reading the summary, getting some notes, and preparing for not only for their semester exam but also for their CPT exam. But keep in mind, in this way you can't crack any kind of CPT or CUET exam. You have to be very much strong in your concept. Okay. Now, come to our strategy that English literature is there, you are reading, but maximum students are not aware of the fact that the literature is of three parts: literary history, cultural history and social history. And these three create the literature. But majority of the students are reading only literary history. As a result, in the exam, they are getting more questions from social cultural history. As a result, they are thinking what type of questions they are getting. They are being depressed, they are being dejected because of the questions. That's why if you want to be very much strong in social cultural history, in addition to the literary history, you have to read the Bibhas Choudhury book, the Social and Cultural History by Bibhas Choudhury book, very famous book. This book is famous for social and cultural history. Understood? You are reading, you have learned, you have known the name Black Death. But from Bibhas Choudhury book, you can learn A to Z regarding Black Death. You can learn Peasants' Revolt. You can learn the 100 Years' War. You can learn all the social cultural events from the literature by reading this book. So in addition to reading some books which is famous for literary history like Geelong, David Deutsch, Nair books, M.N. Sinha, all these are famous books. Routledge is there. Okay, another book is there like the Concise Cambridge History of English Literature. All these are famous, although another book is there, the Concise Cambridge History of English Literature. This book is very much famous because it combines the three things in together. Okay. And another book is there which I love most. This is I. Evans, the literature book by I. Evans. I love this book very much because you can get the taste of literature. Okay, I love Geelong because I can get the taste of literature. Routledge is good, but I don't like Routledge. But I love I. Evans because of its language. I love David Deutsch because of its language, because you can get the taste of literature. But in the case of Albert, I don't like, because by reading or by going between the lines of Albert, you can get only information, but you can't get the true picture of the literary cultural social history. But I love Albert because of its genuine date, its spelling. That's why I love Albert. Remember. So for literary history, you can read Long, you can read David H.S., you can read Nayar's book, you can read M.N. Sinha, you can read Sanders. Lots of books are there. But for social cultural history, you have to read must Bibhas Chaudhary Social Cultural History by Bibhas Chaudhary, famous book. Okay. Now in present time, the questions are coming in such a way that these book or textbooks are not enough, and this won't be more helpful for you to crack any kind of CPT exam. In addition to these books, you have to read some reference books like the famous book The World Literature by Prem Shankar Pandey. You can go for Arihant, you can go for practice A Modern Approach to English Literature by Atlantic Publishers. All these are reference books which will be helpful for you to crack CPT in addition to CUET. Understood? All these are literature part. Come to some literary types and rhetoric prosody. You know, rhetoric prosody or figure of speech is a basic common thing in literature, and 4 to 5% you will get from this rhetoric prosody and rhetoric prosody. Especially I love this book. I suggest everyone this book, The Principles of English Rhetoric and Prosody by M. Chakraborty. Okay, this book will help you to be well up in various concepts like simile, metaphor, the difference between simile and metaphor. And this book is famous for individual study of rhetoric and prosody. Rhetoric and prosody both are not the same thing. Rhetoric means figure of speech, simile, metaphor, oxymoron, hyperlage, transport epithet, hyperlage means transport epithet, okay, innuendo, antithesis, oxymoron, chiasmus. So lots of figure of speeches are there based on association, based on imagination, based on indirectness, lots of things this book has discussed. And in prosody you learn the scansem, you learn iambic, you learn dactyl, you learn anapestic, you learn spondy, you learn pyrrhic, you learn hypermetrical, you learn elision, you learn acephalous variations. Lots of things we will discuss has been discussed in this book. Okay, 4 to 5% you will get from this book. Apart from this, to understand literary criticism theory, especially from beginning to end, from beginning to the present modern time, you can go for the Western philosophy, the history of Western philosophy by Barton Russell, a very famous book. Although it is very much a lengthy book, but for short study, you can say, you can go for Pramod Nayar's book. Okay, literary theory by Pramod Nayar, then beginning theory by Peter Berry. All these are famous books. And for individual study, you can go for Habib, literary theory by Habib, something like that. Okay. Now another book I love. This is by literary types by A.K. Banerjee. A.K. Banerjee is very much famous for lots of reference books from Macbeth, from Julius Caesar, and he has written a book in the name of Literary Types by A.K. Banerjee, very famous book. In this book, you will get in details the concept of tragedy, comedy, novel. You have learned that tragedy is the imitation of action, that is serious, having magnitude, blah blah blah. It is a definition you everyone knows. Translate it is actually it is not written. Actually, it is not directly from poetics, Aristotle poetics. It has been translated into English by Ingram by Water. So if anyone says you that Aristotle has said tragedy is a imitation of action, wrong. Actually, it is a translated version of Aristotle poetics. Okay. Now everyone can say that tragedy is a imitation of action, that is serious, having a magnitude, blah blah blah. Everyone knows. So what do you mean by serious? What do you mean by complete in itself? What do you mean by magnitude? So all these things you can get from these literary types by A.K. Banerjee. Then you will get the formative elements of tragedy. Okay, you will get character, plot, character, thought, diction, melody, spectacle. Okay, Mathositos, Lexis Malosopsis, all these things are there. Okay. And also one question will come, one two question will come that plot means Mathos. Okay, all these questions will get. Okay. You have to read in details. Comedy, difference between comedy, tragedy, three unities. Okay, another thing is there. Another thing that the maximum people say that what they say, hamartia or hamartia means tragic flaw, but actually hamartia or hamartia does not mean tragic flaw. It is a misinterpretation done by S.A. Bradley in his book The Shakespearean Tragedy. Aristotle already said that the tragic hero of a tragedy faces his doomsday not because of his moral depravity but error of judgment. So every tragic hero in Shakespearean tragedy or any kind of classical tragedy, then you will say in Oedipus Rex, Oedipus has done wrong, morally wrong by marrying his mother, but actually he has done out of ignorance. Understood? So every tragic hero from classical to you can say Shakespearean tragedy, they are morally perfect. They are not morally depraved. They are going to face their doomsday or nemesis because of their error of judgment. Okay, so error of judgment and tragic flaw both are not the same thing. Understood? So all the tragic hero are not suffering because of the tragic flaw, but because of their error of judgment. So hamartia does not mean the tragic flaw. It is one kind of misinterpretation. Okay, so all these things you will get from this A.K. Banerjee book by the literary types by A.K. Banerjee. And another book is there, The Poetics by Raghunath Tilak, very famous book. All these things you will get from these two books. And for literary types, another good book is there, I love, The Quintessence of Literary Essays by Goodman, very famous book. Okay, so if you read all these books, you are going to prepare yourself for CPT and CUET. In addition to this, you should read the +3 syllabus of Utkal University. 20 to 30% question you will get from this syllabus. You have to read thoroughly. You have to go between the lines of every text. Okay. In addition to this, you should be updated according to the recent publication, recent writers, publications, works. You have to be very much up to date because questions are coming mainly from contemporary writers. Okay. That's why you have to read consistently. Don't be depressed. You have to manage time. Although I know the pressure you are facing because of semester system. Although in my class 3 there was no any semester system because we are under yearly pattern. We have got enough time for preparing ourselves. But you have to keep in mind you are a semester student. You have to read a lot. You have to manage time, and after managing time, you have to prepare yourself for CPT and CUET exam. Okay. So all these things you can do. First, it is your duty to buy this book, read thoroughly, rhetoric and prosody. In addition to this, you can buy J. Long or I. for Evans. Okay. And also specially for in detail study, for exam point of view, you can buy War Literature by Prem Shankar Pandey. Okay. Very famous book. And for practice, you can buy a Modern Approach to English Literature by Art Learning Publishers. Very famous book. You can prepare for read this book for preparation for CUET or CPT or any kind of NET or SSB for any kind of exam. Okay, everyone. So don't be depressed. Read continuously and consistently. Try to develop your concept. Don't read the summary only. And don't believe in surface structure of a text. Follow in deep structure. Okay. And suppose when you are reading the chairs, don't read the summary only. When you are trying to read the chair by Eugene Ionesco, you have to be very much well up in absurd drama. What is absurd drama? What is absurdism? What is essentialism? What is existentialism? The difference between essentialism and existentialism. You will get Sartre. Okay, Albert Camus. Understood? So all this you have to be very much good at concepts. Okay. In addition to this, you have to be good at some quotes from writers, especially from William Shakespeare, from Albert Camus, Eugene Ionesco, then Samuel Beckett. So you have to remember some quotes also, because questions are coming from quotes, the writers, all these things are coming. But the books I have suggested you, if you read thoroughly, you can do better or do the best in your exam. Okay, but you have to keep in mind that you have to read continuously, you have to practice continuously, so that you can prepare yourself and you can hope for the best. Okay, everyone. And without any for any kind of help and any kind of advice, you can message me. Okay, and I am thinking to give a class, okay, through online mode. I am thinking, but not decided. I will inform you through my YouTube channel by giving the description and giving the link. Okay, everyone. Thank you.